Oh my lord. Okay, live. Good morning, comic book fans. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit there, didn't I? Welcome back to our review show. We are reviewing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but because we had an awful lot of people pay attention to our review of Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team, including giving us some thumbs down for it, it may occur to me that people might be watching this thinking, oh, he's talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Maybe he's talking about the video game. This review is called Comics in 5 Minutes. We are talking about the comic book. Just so you know, just in case there's any kind of confusion there, that's all. And yes, it's a comic book. It's a comic book tied into, well, it's a spin-off from the video game. I think it's set before the video game. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Weirdly, I've seen the trailer for it. And it looks great, but I've not really been following too much on what's going on in the video game. I know that apparently you're going to be playing both the male and the female characters, which is cool. Brother and sister again. Done that before for the British one, which was kind of funky. And I know it's set in the a part of the Viking Age. But first off, when I was reading the comic book, before I even got to the comic book per se, you get a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Songs of Glory. That's the subtitle of it, by the way. And they talk about what's going on there. Now, most of you are probably going to read that quick as you can. Obviously, I'm going to leave there for ages and think, yeah, okay, fair enough. What's the complaint there, Shorty? Viking clans. Don't put a capital V on Viking. Vikings were not one homogenous group. It's not a proper noun. It's a descriptor of what people did. It's a verb. We went Viking. I know it's a tiny, tiny thing, but honestly, when you see something like that, it kind of puts me off straight away. And I was thinking, right, okay, let's see how accurate the rest is going to be then. But for the most part, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it as a comic book. And now, don't get me wrong, it's like a really good adaptation, or spin-off or tie-in, whatever you call it, from a video game intellectual property. And that means it's going to be, well, it's going to kind of have to work along with the same kind of rules. The story is going to have to progress, no further than they're going to allow it before the video game comes out, or basically with tying in with the video game story. And that's fine, because last time I read something by this author, Mr. Cavan Scott, it was the Transformers Back to the Future thing, and it was so predictable as to be almost eye-watering. This, obviously, I mean, I've encountered Transformers a lot. I've watched the Back to the Future movie backwards and forwards repeatedly. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I have no idea what the actual story of it's going to be, other than, assassins and Vikings. But I don't know how they're going to play that, because, Vikings, although a lot of people think of them as like the big bloodthirsty warriors who charge in there in a shield wall, they're actually known for being also cunning. And it's a prized trait amongst warriors, is being able to be sneaky and trick your opponents. So there still is that chance that it could be like proper assassination kind of stuff going on there. But that doesn't tell me anything about what the actual story is going to be. The plot is completely alien to me, so I have no real expectation whatsoever. And what I was pleasantly surprised. Cavan Scott has done a very, very good job of writing a whole bunch of characters with limited space, really, because this is issue 1, and so far there's 4, maybe 5 named characters who I think are going to be important going forward, and each of them at least feels distinct enough that, although 2 of them have very similar haircuts, that I think they are their own characters, and that's fine and dandy. That's really, really well done. Sometimes with when you've only got 4 issues, you can kind of just only paint in broad strokes, just kind of get the absolute bare minimum sorted out that people think they're going to need. Cavan goes a little bit further, and that's nice. I like to see that. What's also really nice about it is it's an Assassin's Creed game and there's fighting in it, which means there's going to be violence. In fact, there's violence like all over the place. It is full-on, unremitting, brutally violent. Which is one of the things that people associate with the Viking Age. It's kind of hard to turn against that one. I've read a lot about it, studied it quite a bit, and yeah, a lot of people got murdered. A lot of them. But with a certain knack, they managed to do quite a cool fight scene there without really worrying about motion lines. Yeah, there's this panel here where you've got like it looks like she just exploded out from somewhere, but everything else, you don't really have to worry about where stuff's come from. It's drawn so well and framed so nicely that it's all there for you without you having to be told. And this is a sword moving like this. It just does it, and it does it effectively. There's bits later on with throwing axes, hitting people in the head, people getting their legs cut off. And again, that's another time where you get something slightly close to a motion line, but it's just basically where the blood spray would go. It's all done with a surprisingly effective dab hand. The rest of the artwork is good. Like definitely above average. but I think the chances they had to like really push hard only came right at the end when you introduce a new character who looks amazing, very very cool. I don't spoil too much about that. I'm saying it's going to be important for what's carrying on later. But that's the first time I actually saw a bit of the artwork where I was like, oh my god, this is actually brilliant art. And unfortunately, it takes a little bit long to get to that. The story, though, I've got to say, before I'm already over time, the story actually is really quite nice. You get a sense of intrigue and politics, and also a lot of backstory that's already been put in front of you. So you've got a lot to build on just within the first issue. This is the Cavan Scott I remember from reading Shadow Service and absolutely loving it. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll be back tomorrow. I might read some Harley Quinn. Bye.